welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger,
I'm LaQuascott, Scott, and today we are reviewing I Saw the TV Glow.
which has been out for a couple of weeks now. You've tried to see it a couple times before you actually made it to the
Yes.
theater.
Yeah, I finally made it to the theater to see it. I'm happy I saw it in the afternoon as opposed to the evening.
Yeah. Is this a horror movie?
Oh, I I categorized it as drama fantasy,
Okay.
but I don't know, did you like what genres do you think this kind of encompassed?
Well, I thought it was horror based on the trailer,
Mhm.
but then there aren't like fantasy elements to it. You're not really sure if she is having some sort of mental break or if really things are happening.
Yeah, so I love the homage. It's a film that is set from 1996 to 2016. Starts in 1996 with two teenagers, uh, both whom love a beloved kind of X-Files horror movie series for children. And it's very reminiscent of Nickelodeon, Snick at the time, Saturday Night Nickelodeon, where there were mysteries and there were teams or kids to solve these mysteries. And it's set around the same time. And one of these characters, Maddie, is very entrenched in the lore and thinks that the elements of the pink opaque or the show, young adult horror mystery show, is deeply real. And then you have the other character, OMR. It seems like he is, trying to discover friends, and two, needs companionship because a lot of things are going on in his personal life. I enjoyed elements of this film. I love the like callbacks to certain things, the George Millay, but then also that was Smashing Pumpkins, the Fruitopia machine in the high school or in the junior high school, playing with that huge parachute thingy, during recess. So lots of nostalgia. Yeah, what were your initial thoughts of this, Chris?
So I'm gonna say I didn't love it. There were parts of it that I liked. I thought it was unrealistic in a lot of ways, of course. But also like the fact that they try to get him to span so much of
Yeah,
his life, right? Like he goes from being in seventh grade
yeah.
to being, and I'm not even sure how old he's supposed to be at the end of this. Like he
I
looks
think
like
he's
he's
supposed to be in his like late 30s and they made him look
like he
extremely
was
old.
in his mid 50s, right? Like
Meanwhile, the other characters that presumably have been working at this place for the same amount of years look exactly the same.
right. And how, like, he says he has a family and he's like a house, he maintains a household. How does he do that based on the money he earns at that
Yeah.
arcade or whatever? So some things just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. But
I assume that the cost of living was pretty low wherever they were in the suburbs, but yes, to your point, it's like you would think that he would have upgraded his job after 10, maybe even 5 years, but it seemed like he was at the same place.
and then you weren't really
Um,
sure. I mean, it definitely seemed like he was having a mental break towards the end.
yes, yeah. It took him a little longer than it was for her, but it's like, thinking about all of the pressures during your teenage years, but then also he's going through a lot of things with his mom and his dad and just trying to make friends in school and connect. And then this other person is on a whole nother level. Um, I would have thought, I think that this film probably resonates for people who watched The X-Files, Buffy, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, another, you know, in that area. But yeah, like you, I felt like this film didn't stick the landing.
We got off
Uh,
to a good start. Like I was interested for like the
yes.
first 45 to an hour. Like I was like, eh. And then it just sort of fell apart at the end, which it's based on a book. I have to
Okay.
imagine somehow the book translated it better at the end.
I feel like I tuned out or like it was trying to make sense after about the first hour. Like, where was this going to go? Is it going to go into the supernatural? And I felt like it was more talking than actually like showing.
Yes, yes. Let's go to the slides.
And wearing glasses. But yeah, it looks like so I gave it 2.5 for cinematography. It's very A24. It's very like neon scribbles, glow, which I think attracted me to it. There's some really cool shots. And I saw what it was trying to do, but I hope, I was just hoping that it would leverage more of that supernatural, fluorescent, really cool things that would make it like the A24 film. Like I was actually surprised in one of the first scenes, you see that there's like a chalk on the ground, in the evening, so it's like glowing and it's, reminiscent of playground behavior. But I was like surprised. It was like the absence of just youth and other people who would make it more, I guess, more robust in terms of the storytelling. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think there are probably lots of things in the book that didn't translate enough into the movie. Like, I'm sure if I
Mhm.
had read the book, I'd be like, yeah, this movie was great. But without that context, it's missing too much.
Yeah. And, a lot of the characters were just, there were some decently sized characters in there. It's Justice Smith. The person who played Maddie was actually in the Bill and Ted 3, so the one that came out, like the most recent one that came out. And Fred Durst played Omar's dad, which was wild because it was almost like he had a couple scenes and you would have never known that it was him. I mean, obviously he's a character to be played, but the recognition for some of these actors was a bit lost.
I agree. I mean, I don't think it's going to be out in theaters much longer. I think that it's going to get pushed out by Planet of the Apes and Furiosa. Uh,
Yeah, this is like a last bit, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it'll pick up steam on streaming with people who couldn't see it in a theater, or maybe their theater didn't carry it because for them, you know, having Planet of the Apes would make more sense economically than having an indie film. But when I did see it, it was it wasn't completely sold out, but I would say it's like 85% sold out. And the reaction from the crowd wasn't that great.
the theater was pretty full. I would say I maybe over 50% full when I saw it, but I think that was also because there aren't that many screens for it. Do you have anything to plug in this episode? Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Yes, so looking forward to Furiosa, which comes out in 2 weeks, I believe. The Fall Guy, still gotta see. I think those are probably the top two on my list. There's a new Harmony Korine film. I really enjoyed The Beach Bum that came out about 2 or 3 years ago. Um, I feel like he just does these spring breaky type movies. And so he has a new one out that might see sometime in the next week. What about you? What films are on your radar?
I just saw East Bay this morning, and that was good. I recommend it.
Okay.
It's one of those written, directed, and produced by the same person. So it's a very
Hmm.
small film. It's about him making a documentary, just kind of living, trying to be a person in the world and trying to make a documentary and going through all his relationship with his live-in girlfriend. And then they break up, and then he moves in with his roommates, and his roommates are people that he used to work with, but he quit to make his documentary films to
Wow.
make his film. So it's a lot of like slice of life stuff happening, but really good. And I think it's probably only going to be in theaters for another week or two. It's only one screen at AMC 25 right now.
Oh, wow.
I recommend it when it goes to streaming for sure. Oh, Maxine. I've been seeing trailers for that and I want to see that when it comes out.
Oh, definitely seeing that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.